Privileged access. Control C.5. And it exists because of a hard question. How many people in your organization could, today, change absolutely everything? Here's the breach that proves why the number matters. The 15th of July, 2020. Twitter users watched the verified accounts of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Apple, and dozens of others all start posting the same message: send Bitcoin to this address and I will send it back doubled. Within hours, roughly $120,000 had gone to the attackers from thousands of people who believed a trusted public figure was making them an offer. And nothing was hacked in the way people imagine. No perimeter breach, no malware, no zero-day. It took a phone call, a convincing story, and a Twitter employee who had access to an internal administrative tool, a tool known inside the company as God Mode. That tool could reset any account's email address, disable its two-factor authentication, and hand over effective control. And here is the real failure: access to it was not restricted to a small number of closely supervised staff. Enough employees had it that social engineering, just a handful of them, was sufficient to reach every account on the platform. The problem was not that the tool existed; powerful tools have to exist. The problem was how many people held the keys, with no second approval standing between them and 130 accounts. So what is privileged access management? It governs every account with elevated access: system administrators, database administrators, cloud platform owners, network engineers. And crucially, it also covers any internal operational tool powerful enough to modify accounts or extract data at scale, whatever your org chart calls it. Privileged access is a genuinely different risk category. One compromised privileged account reaches every system at once, rather than one. Standing, always-on privilege means the attack window never closes. Privileged users can frequently modify or delete the very logs that would record what they did. And powerful internal tools are very often not classified as privileged systems at all, so they escape the controls entirely, which is exactly what happened here. At Twitter, the gaps were clear. Far too many employees with access to a high-impact tool, when the number should be the minimum operationally necessary. Standing persistent access rather than just-in-time elevation for a specific task. No session monitoring or anomaly alerting, resetting two-factor on dozens of high-profile accounts in rapid succession and posting identical text is wildly anomalous against any legitimate operator behavior, and should have alerted immediately. And a credential reset process that caller ID spoofing and a good script were enough to defeat. So what does good look like? The minimum necessary number of people with access to any high-impact tool, role-defined, formally approved, and reviewed at least quarterly. Just-in-time privilege, where a user requests elevation, gets time-limited access, completes the task, and access expires automatically, so there is no always-on window. Session recording on all privileged sessions, with automatic alerts on patterns like bulk account modifications. Dual control, meaning irreversible or high-volume actions need a second person's approval before execution. And a PAM vault that checks credentials out on the user's behalf, enforces rotation, and makes sharing impossible. How does an auditor test it? You obtain the full list of privileged accounts across servers, databases, cloud consoles, and internal operational tools, and assess whether it is documented, current, and proportionate. You sample privileged grants and check a formal approval process was followed with documented business justification. You confirm whether a PAM solution is deployed and genuinely covers those account types, rather than people connecting directly with shared credentials. You confirm privileged access is reviewed at least quarterly for sensitive systems, and that reviews actually result in revocations. And you test separation of duties, whether one person can both execute a change and approve it, or both access data and manage the logs recording that access. 5 lessons. 1. Count your privileged users and then deliberately reduce the number. That single act is the most effective defense against a Twitter-style attack. 2. Make standing privilege the exception. Just-in-time elevation removes the always-on window. 3. Record and alert on privileged session anomalies, bulk changes, out-of-hours configuration edits, access from unexpected locations. 4. Require dual approval for high-impact irreversible actions, because no one person should be able to affect thousands of accounts alone. It is the strongest control against both insiders and compromised accounts. And 5. Treat any tool that can modify accounts or extract data at scale as a privileged system, regardless of how it is labeled internally. Privileged access is Control C.5 in the ITGC framework. I'm walking through every one with the breach that proves why it matters every week at marcoweb.org. Subscribe to get them in your inbox, and try the free ITGC audit tool.